Greetings, members, one and all of the Salivation Nation. This is a subject that I've wanted to tackle for quite some time. Do we have a moral obligation not to buy some silver and gold at times? It's a subject of today's discussion with regards to certain silver and gold pieces. This video was inspired by Donald in New Mexico, but I'd thought about it even before that, about certain themes that we see on different silver coins out there, or rounds, or bars, or what have you. And some of them we may agree with, and others we may not agree with. And there's so many different varieties out there, but it's not even just about the designs, but it can be about pretty much anything. One reason or another why you may or may not purchase a precious metal product from a particular company or mint, a sovereign mint. You know, it all harkens back to the days of the Nazis. You know, in World War II, their coins had the swastika on it, and a lot of people, coin collectors, debated, should we collect coins that have the swastika or that, seem to glorify National Socialism and the atrocities that occurred against the Jews during World War II. Very controversial subject, and as to whether or not to have those particular coins in a collection. And then others, especially more recently, we had ISIS that were about to, and they may have, I don't know if they actually did, mint their own coins for their caliphate that had occurred. Of course, just as atrocious, the things that they had done, would we have felt comfortable owning gold or silver coins from that regime? And those are obviously moral questions, especially those of us that are collectors, because they say if you don't remember history, you're doomed to repeat it. And sometimes things of items from those eras are a way to keep history alive, so that you understand that there is evil out there. But take that aside for a moment. You have other areas that maybe it's not so clear about what happened, because you can make an argument for collecting those kind of coins, considering the circumstances behind them, and that both of those regimes are pretty much over now. I mean, there's obviously traces of neo-Nazism and Islamic extremism still today, but there's other things and other factors that come into play when deciding what to collect, because of one particular reason or another. And the reasons why not to, for a moral obligation, not to acquire gold and silver products are quite vast. I'll begin with probably one of the most atrocious version, and that is the panda, the Chinese panda. Now, the Chinese mint, actually there's 4 of them in China that make the pandas, and up until 2016, they made these in 1-ounce sizes, and they are really stunning coins, indeed. And just as far as their beauty and quality, there's no issues, though some of them have milk spotted. That's another reason we'll get to later. By and large, it's a very well done series. There's a lot of people who collect them. But in 2015, they stopped marking them. And there was rumors that they were going to go away from the 1-ounce size. And 2015 was a transition year where they were going to do that. But 2015 is quite unique because there's no way to tell whether this is silver by any markings. And most sovereign mints put the weight and purity on their coins. This is indeed 1-ounce silver, but it's not marked as such, as you see here on the 2014 version. And then what we had thought to be true did occur in 2016, And this is actually a 2017 version, but there you see it, 30 grams. And so that turned off a lot of collectors, a lot of stackers out there who wanted to keep their ounces, because that's how people, silver essentially, generally, by rule, and as far as sovereign coins, are measured by the troy ounce. And these are not. I posted a video quite a while ago actually weighing these, and some of them are a bit underweight, believe it or not. There's an old video, if you search my videos, where I weighed some of these, and some of them were a bit underweight. I think it was the 2015s we measured, because they weren't marked, so there was no really guarantee. Now, I don't know about these 30 grams, but generally coins are, sovereign coins are done in troy ounce. So that's one moral obligation. By some, that may be just enough to not want to continue the series if they're collecting it, or just stay away from pandas. The other huge reason, especially with regards to China, why some may not want to collect or acquire anything Chinese is because how often they're faked. The Chinese panda especially is faked a lot. But the Chinese, there's a massive problem of fake coins from older numismatics as well as others out there, why people aren't accumulating stuff from China. In fact, I'm very close to boycotting getting some. If I find these at a really good deal or whatever, I may pick them up. But generally, I'm kind of staying away from Chinese stuff for that. And that's probably one of my biggest arguments for not acquiring Chinese pandas or much in regards to coinage and stuff from China, because the government there does not seem to want to, or it has not been successful in cracking down on counterfeiting. The other situation is a marketing one, and that is with places like the Royal Canadian Mint. And their seemingly never-ending privy marks on their coins. You know, it's one of those things where it's become quite a problem, or quite an issue. I mean, obviously that's in their right. They're one of several mints that can be commissioned to do certain things for certain bullion dealers and companies that get exclusive rights, like this panda chewing on the eucalyptus or whatever, privy. And there's lots of different privies that come out that Royal Canadian Mint has. And some people think, well, that's just not right. It's too much. I'm not going to worry about collecting them, especially privy mark stuff, because it just seems to never end every year. Now, they're nice coins, well designed, well struck. Love that reverse proof look to it. But some people are adamantly against that marketing strategy that the bullion dealers and the mint do. And some people feel stronger about it than others, but for a moral reason, that could be another moral reason why not to acquire. The other reason is spotting. As you can see here, this is a pretty spotted maple leaf that I've actually been kind of playing with there, but you can kind of see the milk spotting on it. The Royal Canadian Mint is one of the worst offenders of this, but as is the Royal Mint. Up until this year, it was an ongoing problem with the Royal Mint, and I know a lot of people, I've seen it in the comments of my videos, people will not buy maple leafs because of their heavy spotting. And that's certainly an understandable reason not to accumulate eagles or maple leaves for sure. The other aspect is because of what particular nations are involved. And here is a golden eagle, and some people may have a national indifference, or there's certain nations they just don't like. They don't like their policies. They don't like how they do things. And there may be some folks that are, like in this case, I mean, you can pick any nation. I just chose this one because was handy. You know, America. Some people don't like America, so they won't collect anything from America or some other nation for one reason or another. So that's another aspect of it with regards to pieces of such and such. And then there's another situation where, you know, you can have these seemingly unending restrikes, and where they basically it's a bullion coin, but they take an old classic coin and they just keep minting it over and over again. The Mexicans do that with their gold coins, by and large. And this is an example of a ducat with the same situation where they have minted coins. And then also what is known as controversial figures in history. You know, there's some folks that find some of these figures that may be offended by certain things they stand for, and say they don't want to associate themselves with it, so they don't want to have coins with some figures as such on it. Also, political themes, you know, and associated with coins or rounds, you know, where there may be certain aspects or certain themes that some people just may disagree with politically, and so because as such they avoid coins in that manner, or rounds that have these messages on them that relate to a political theme. So there's that kind of situation, and then there is also maybe a religious theme. One reason or another why some people may not collect certain things, because it may go against their religious views, such as pigs. You know, Jews and Muslims, you know, some may feel stronger than others about having certain coins with what they consider to be unclean animals on them. Here's another more interesting and controversial subject, and that is especially the African wildlife series, where we don't actually know if these are coins or not. There's no way to prove or disprove one way or the other whether or not this is a coin, especially with the Somali Republic and the African wildlife series. You know, I posted a video about this earlier, and some people refuse to buy something that they feel is fraudulently represented, you know, as being a genuine coin, when there's no real proof as such, whereas most other ones, I guess there's a way to find proof there. Other things in terms of themes may include darker themes. You know, here's a round that shows a skull on it, you know, sugar skulls, and it's a holiday in Mexico, Dia de los Muertos, and so it's things like this that people wonder, or any kind of thing with skulls on it. There's some people who are against that type of thing and display to show preference, so they prefer not to. They have a moral obligation not to accumulate pieces as such with skulls on them. So those are just some examples of moral reasons why not to buy certain types of gold and silver. And perhaps I left something out. If there's anything that you have that for a moral obligation not to accumulate some gold and silver, post it in the comment section below. I can actually think of one more. You know, maybe there's some people that have moral obligation not to collect coins from certain YouTubers like me. You know what I'm saying? That might be quite a reality possibility there too. So very interesting. Lots of different reasons, I think, and different ways, and certain themes for preferences. By no means, no matter what it is, no matter what your reason, more than likely there's going to be something out there that you like. There's something out there that you enjoy, something that you find that fits your viewpoint and your preferences and your morality out there to collect. There's no shortage of choices, and we all can enjoy this not only hobby, but this way of preserving our wealth with all the myriad of different choices out there indeed, as collectors and stackers out there for sure. So post your thoughts below. I'd like to extend a multitude of gratitude to you all for watching, and encourage you to please rate, comment, and subscribe.